Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. It's a Colorado 7 League battle as the Fort Morgan Mustangs entertain the Englewood Pirates. I'm John Beltran, and the regular season finale for the Mustangs before the conference tournament gets underway on Wednesday. Mustangs go into this game as Colorado 7 League champions for the third time in 4 years, as they defeated Fort Lupton on Wednesday 14-4. Let's get to the starting lineup for winless Englewood. Batting first is the center fielder Isaiah Martinez. Second baseman Josh Lort hits second. The third hitter is the left fielder Thomas O'Connor. The cleanup hitter is the shortstop Mason Robertson. Batting fifth is the first baseman D'Angelo Williams. Right fielder Johnny Munoz hits sixth. The third baseman Josiah Hazard bats seventh. The pitcher Aiden McGonnell hits eighth. And Parker Montegna will be batting ninth for Englewood. The Mustangs defensively, with Trey McBride at first. The second baseman is Isaac Linker. Austin Apple at third. In between him at short is Jacob Ortega. The left fielder is Felix Ortega. On senior day, a junior, J.P. Hamer in center. The right fielder, Bobby Tolson, and right behind the plate is Connor Fajardo. And Jimmy Keller has put up some outstanding numbers, mainly in relief, is on the mound for the Mustangs in game number 16. As Fort Morgan, once again, another dominant performance this season in Colorado 7 League play. And the opening pitch is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions, or provide a quote. That is Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Englewood wearing their road blues and stepping in will be the center fielder Isaiah Martinez. Hitting from the right side. Englewood's been outscored this year 174-24, and the fastball's high. 1 ball and no strikes. Laying down the sign is Fajardo, the pitch, and the breaking ball's in there first. Oh. 1-2-0. I don't know where that missed. Well, all right. This might be an adventure. I mean, that looked right down the middle. 2-0, and that's in the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes. Looked like he threw him a changeup. And the pitch is in there for a strike. At 3-1. And the offering. That's right there for a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2. The pitch to Martinez from Keller. That's upstairs. It's a walk. That'll set up Josh Lort, another right-handed hitter for the Pirates. Yeah, their closest game was their most recent game against Arvada. They lost only by a score of 6-5, and now the ball gets away in a pickoff down the right field line, and taking 2 bags is Martinez as he heads to third. So the Mustangs sloppy here in the early going with an error after a walk. And a man 90 feet away for Englewood. And Lord's got an opportunity to drive him in. We've already got video on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube on Senior Day, the 4 seniors that were honored today. Bobby Tolson, along with Felix Ortega. Trey McBride, the pitch is a strike. No balls and 1 strike. And, of course, Jimmy Keller, the pitcher. The stretch and the offering. And that's right there for a strike on the outside corner at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. Keller went with a hook there against the right-handed hitting Lort. 0-2 with Thomas O'Connor on deck. The stretch short lead at third for Martinez and the offering. And the breaking ball is lined into left center field for a base hit. Martinez will score. It's an RBI single for Josh Lort. And Englewood has the lead here in the top of the first, 1-0. Yeah, the breaking ball hung just a bit there, and Lort was able to wait on it and tag it into left center. Here's Thomas O'Connor. That's a very, very short lead for Lort. Don't even need to throw over there. He's barely got a step. And the offering, and that's taken for a strike. Off-speed pitch at the knees. It's 0-1. It's been rare that Fort Morgan has even trailed in Colorado 7 league play, although they were down 2-0 to Fort Lupton before they exploded with 14 of the game's last 16 runs, and that's down and away with the off-speed. And the count levels at 1-1 strike. The Mustangs will play on Wednesday in conference tournament play at 4 o'clock here on B106 and B106.com at home against Conifer. And the offering swung on and fouled to the screen. Count moves to 1-2. Then they'll play 2 games a week from tomorrow. 9 a.m. against Weld Central and 4:30 against Fort Lupton. That's on Saturday, May 5th, the pitch. And the bender's in there for a strike on the outside corner at the knees. And Keller's got his first strikeout in the first out of the game. And here's Mason Robertson, another right-handed hitter for Englewood. Robertson out of the cleanup spot. The stretch by Keller, short lead at first once again, and the offering. Swing and a miss on the hook. No balls and 1 strike. Keller gets the sign from Fajardo. Long pause, the 0-1, and that's outside again with the off-speed. The count levels at 1-1 strike. 1-0 Englewood. Here in the top of the first, and the RBI single from Josh Lort, who stands at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on, 1 in. And the pitch. And that's just a little bit inside. Ball 2, strike 1 to Mason Robertson. Keller looks back. And the 2-1 offering, and that's in the dirt, and that gets away. And Fajardo's got to chase that one down. And the second is Lort. So another runner in scoring position for the Pirates here in the early going. And, Fort Morgan realizes the struggles of this team they're playing today. So the focus is a little bit difficult at times. And there's a foul to the screen. It's 3-2. I think once they get to bat, that'll change pretty quickly. 3-2 to Robertson. Keller looks back. And the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for Jimmy Keller. And there's 2 down. 2 down for D'Angelo Williams. Williams from the right side. I think it's an all right-handed hitting lineup here for Englewood. And swing, and off the glove of Fajardo, it's 0-1. Here to Williams. And the Mustangs are right now in 8th in the RPI ranking, so they're sitting pretty. And the pitch. That's right there on the outer half for a strike at the knees. It's 0-2. Yeah. The Mustangs probably will not play on the road again this season unless it's the state tournament. And they've got the rest of the season at home. And then they should be able to host a district. Swing and a miss. And Jimmy Keller strikes out the side here in the top of the first inning. Englewood scores a run. There was a base hit, a Mustang air, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the first. It's Englewood 1, and the Mustangs are coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. The Mustang starting lineup has J.P. Hamer, the center fielder, hitting first. The shortstop, Jacob Ortega, bats second. Batting third is the first baseman, Trey McBride. The cleanup hitter is the second baseman, Isaac Linker. Batting fifth is the pitcher, Jimmy Keller. Left fielder, Felix Ortega, hits sixth. Austin Apple at third, bats seventh. The right fielder, Bobby Tolson, hits eighth. And Connor Fajardo behind the plate, bats ninth. Defensively for Englewood, D'Angelo Williams is at first, Josh Lort at second. The third baseman is Josiah Hazard. Over at short is Mason Robertson. Around the outfield, Thomas O'Connor in left, Isaiah Martinez in center, Johnny Munoz in right, Parker Montegna is the catcher, and Aiden McGonigal is the pitcher. And here is J.P. Hamer. To lead off for the Mustangs. And the pitch swung on and foul to the backstop. Hamer hitting .438, just tearing it up this year. In fact, the Mustangs have a few hitters near that category, and then Trey McBride is just off the charts. No balls and one strike to Hamer, and the offering. Swung on, lined on one hop to the shortstop. Robertson bobbles, picks it up, he'll have no throw. And that's an error to begin the game. Both teams have committed a miscue. And Hamer is on. That'll send up the sophomore, Jacob Ortega. Ortega hitting .275, but he's been hitting a lot better. He got off to a slow start and has been pounding the baseball recently. And we know Hamer's got a lot of speed over at first base. About a 2 to 3 step lead. McGonigal delivers, runner goes, and it's taken for a strike. Throw to second up the second base side. An easy steal standing there for J.P. Hamer. And it's 0-1 to Ortega, but he was going to swing that pitch anyway. So now Ortega with an RBI opportunity to try to level this game after Englewood scored a run in the first inning. And the pitch, squaring to bunt, lays it down beautifully, but foul. Boy, I thought it was going to hug the line, but he got too much of it. And the count is at no balls and 2 strikes to Jacob Ortega. And we know the big man is on deck for Fort Morgan, hitting over .600 is Trey McBride. You'd like Ortega out there for a 2 RBI opportunity, perhaps, maybe even 3. Englewood took the lead on Josh Lord's RBI single in the top of the first inning. No balls and 2 strikes. Ortega awaits the pitch. Here it is. And he swings and chops it slowly on the left side. Tough play for Robertson. And he's not going to have a play. It'll be a base hit. An infield hit for Jacob Ortega on that slow chopper. And the Mustangs have first and third with nobody out. And here comes Trey McBride. And what a season he's having. Well over .600 for the Mustang senior. Well, let's see if he takes a pitch in case Ortega is going to take off here. McGonigal's going to have to operate out of the stretch with runners at first and third. McBride awaits, runner goes, and he swings and sends it high into center field and way back towards the track, and that ball is gone. It's a home run for Trey McBride. A 3-run shot, and the Mustangs now lead 3-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. And it was 1 year ago today, in fact, that McBride drove in 8 against Skyview. Yeah, McBride 1 year ago. Again, this was April 27th of 2017 when McBride had 8 RBIs and a grand slam, part of his 2 home run performance in a 14-3 win at Skyview. And he's off to a big start here with that bomb. So the Mustangs up 3-1 here for Isaac Linker. And the offering, that's outside. Here to Linker, 1 ball and no strikes. McGonigal, the right-hander, delivers. Swung on and grounded left side, and that's a base hit into left field. Just beyond the lunging third baseman, and the Mustangs have their first 4 on base on 3 base hits and a miscue. By the way, the first Fort Morgan score of the game, that 3-run homer, brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at cargill.com. The pitcher, Jimmy Keller, awaits, and he takes it for a strike, and an easy steal on a one-hopper there for Isaac Linker. Keller hitting .479 going into today's game. And he's got a chance to drive in a run. The stretch by McGonigal. Keller awaits the 0-1 long pause. And the pitch. And the bender is inside. Guys, a 1-1 strike. Englewood took the early lead, but the Mustangs just came back on a 3-run jack over the center field fence by Trey McBride. The stretch. Runner goes to third, and that ball did clip him. That clipped Keller, so back to second is Linker. It's a hit by pitch. And now first and second for Felix Ortega. Felix hitting .263 on the year. Man, McBride is locked in. Wow. For McBride, that was his 5th home run of the year, and he leads the team with 28 RBIs. And he was batting .612 officially coming in. Ortega waits the pitch. He squares the bunt, lays it down right out in front of the plate. McGonigal's going to try to barehand it. He can't. Now picks it up, throws to first, and that is late. Wow. Boy, that was a bang-bang play at first. That'll be scored an error. It looked like it actually beat him, but it's called safe, and the bases are loaded for Austin Apple. That'll be the second error of the inning. At third is Linker, Keller at second. And Ortega at first out of the windup with nobody out here in the first inning will be McGonigal. And the pitch to Austin Apple. The bender's a swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Apple hitting .250 on the season. A junior for the Mustangs. Fort Morgan is very junior laden, only 4 seniors on this team. And the offering, and that's taken outside, and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Austin Apple. Make Stubbs Gas and Oil your next stop heading out of town. Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. Pitch squaring to bunt, suicide squeeze. Perfect bunt out in front of the plate. McGonigal cannot field it. It's a base hit. He came charging in, and a beautiful suicide squeeze there by Austin Apple. And the Mustangs now lead 4-1, and that was small ball at its best. And here's Bobby Tolson, and there'll be a conversation on the hill. An outstanding bunt there by Apple. And McGonigal kind of panicked out there. He wanted to make a play. You need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store, Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Well, this is already a crooked number the Mustangs are putting on the board. And with the bases loaded with Keller, Ortega, and Apple third to first. Tolson looking to extend the lead. And again, still with nobody out. Tolson, another right-handed hitter. The pitch. That's a strike down the middle at the knees. It's 0-1. Bobby Tolson pitched a gem on Monday, a 3-hitter, in Fort Morgan's 4-0 victory over Skyview. Out of the stretch is McGonigal, and the pitch, and the breaking ball's inside. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Mustangs will bat around in this inning, already up 4-1, as the first 7 have reached. Laying down the sign is Montegna. And the 1-1 pitch. in the dirt and all the way to the screen. And here comes Keller. He will score on the wild pitch. The other runners advance, and the Mustangs now lead 5-1. Well, I mean, this was certainly anticipated. Englewood, going into this game, outscored 174-24. They've lost some one-sided games, and now the infield is playing in. And we're still in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch swung on and chopped left side. The shortstop Robertson to his right bobbles, has it, throws to first low on a hop, and late. And now breaking for the plate is Ortega. He will score. No RBI there for Tolson. Now that'll be scored. Another error. And the Mustangs now lead 6-1. And they've got runners at the corners. Yeah, Robertson's had some chances over there, but has struggled at short. Here's Fajardo. Fajardo batting .257. It's been a mainstay behind the plate this year for the Mustangs. The pitch, and that's down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Man, you would think as long as this inning is taken that McGonigle's thrown a ton of pitches, but that's only 20 pitches to the first 8+ batters. So Fort Morgan's been very aggressive early in the count. Huge lead at first for Tolson. The pitch way outside of the screen, in fact. This will be another run scored here by Austin Apple. And the ball is loose in the infield. And there goes Tolson to third. It'll be another error after the wild pitch. And Fort Morgan now leads 7-1. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. And this is starting to get out of hand. The wild pitch in the air on the catcher Montegna. Well, Fort Morgan's season high in runs was 27 at Alameda. And right now, I mean, there's still nobody out in the first inning. The stretch. And the pitch. Swung on, that's popped up on the left side in foul territory. The catcher Montegna cannot make the play. Just a foul ball, and it's 2-1. Here to Fajardo. Yeah, I'm sure Englewood knew that coming to Fort Morgan was not going to be anything pretty. They know the Mustangs have been dominant in this league, and they've had a lot of success over the years against the Pirates. Fajardo is awaiting the 2-1 pitch. Here it comes, way outside. On that sidewinding fastball. Ball 3, strike 1. That's only the 9th ball thrown by McGonigle in the first inning. So he's been in the strike zone, but again, Fort Morgan has been on top of many of his pitches. And they've also benefited from some mistakes. Swung on, that ball is driven in the air to center field, and that is going to be caught. A basket catch by Martinez. And tagging up and scoring is Tolson on the sacrifice fly. And the Mustangs now lead 8-1. As the first out of the inning was recorded. That'll bring up J.P. Hamer. He reached on a miscue by the shortstop Robertson to begin the bottom of the first inning. Yeah, we're fully expecting this to be a 4.5 inning game. Here's the wind by McGonigle and the pitch. That's taken for a strike on the inner half, belt high. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. And that's off the catcher's glove to the screen way outside. The count levels at 1-1. Yeah, when Fort Morgan beat Englewood, I believe it was 3 seasons ago when Trevor Shirtliff threw that no-hitter. Yeah, well, actually it was 2016, 2 years ago. The pitch swung on and chopped left side. Again, the shortstop Robertson has it, throws to first low, and it's an infield single, and the ball skips away, but Hamer just beat that one out. So he beats it out. And here's Jacob Ortega. Well, McBride might get up there again with a chance for a 3-run shot. He already's got one earlier in this inning. Ortega had a base hit and scored on that home run by McBride. 8-1 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the first inning. 2-step lead for Hamer. He goes. The pitch is a strike. Throws up the second base side. But again, he's got so much speed and had a huge jump. It's an easy stolen base for J.P. Hamer. All right, so here is Ortega with a no-ball, 1-strike count. Looking back is McGonigal. And the pitch squaring to bunt, but it goes behind him to the screen. It'll be a wild pitch. And I mean a wild pitch. Count is level at 1-1. Here to J.P. Hamer. Attack that to Jacob Ortega. Ortega digs in. Runner at third. One down here in the bottom of the first. 8-1 Fort Morgan. Pitch by McGonigal. Squaring to bunt. Lays it down the third base side. That's a beauty. He barehands. Throws to first. And that will be in time. Yeah, keeping his foot on the base over there was D'Angelo Williams. There's 2 down. And Hamer held up at third. And here we go again with Trey McBride, who had a 3-run homer his first time up. The pitch swung on and grounded left side off the third baseman, picks it up, and he'll have no play. Boy, that was a 2-hop shot hit over there to Josiah Hazard, but it scored an error. The run scores is 9-1 in favor of the Mustangs, but yet another error in this inning by Englewood. And here's Isaac Linker. A rough inning here for the Pirates, trailing now by 8. Linker singled and scored his first time up. The pitch, and a check swing foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike to the junior second baseman, Isaac Linker. With 2 down, High Plains Bank offers a wide variety of products that can be customized to fit your individual needs. High Plains Bank in Wiggins. 0-1 to Linker. Runner goes. Swung on. That ball is drilled high and deep into left center field. Does it have enough altitude? It does. Yes. It got over the fence. Boy, just over the left center field fence. Isaac Linker has gone deep. And the Mustangs now lead 11-1 here in the bottom of the first inning. So not only have the Mustangs scored 11 runs, but they've hit 2 home runs in this inning. A 3-run jack by McBride, that 2-run shot by Linker. And here's Jimmy Keller. Yeah, that ball was tattooed. Keller was hit by a pitch, and like 10 other Mustangs scored earlier in this inning. And the pitch swung on. That has popped up into left center field. A long run for Isaiah Martinez to his right, settles under it, makes the catch. And the inning is finally over. However, the Mustangs put up an 11 spot. They get a couple of home runs in this inning. 11 runs on 6 hits. There were 5 errors, and the bases were left empty. Let's head to the second inning. It's Fort Morgan 11, Englewood 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. John Beltran back at Legion Field in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs trailed 1-0 against Englewood after half an inning. They now lead 11-1. And now batting will be Johnny Munoz, followed by Josiah Hazard and Aiden McGonigal against right-hander Jimmy Keller. The pitch, that is a strike on the outer half at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Keller gets the sign and the pitch, and the curveball's up and in. Count levels at 1-1. Here to the opening hitter for Englewood, the pitch, and that curveball's a strike, a beauty. Keller's been very good this year, 2-0 with a .72 ERA going into the game. He did give up an earned run in the first inning. The pitch, swing and a miss. Oh, he pulled the string. Boy, that is pulling a string with 5 yo-yos there. That's 4 strikeouts. What a off-speed pitch there thrown by Keller. There's one down. Here's Josiah Hazard. Yeah, that's what Coach Langford's been talking about, how great of a changeup he's got. And it's a little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, just throwing a lot of that stuff. That makes his fastball look that much more accelerated. Pitch to Hazard. Swing and a miss. Yeah, they're having trouble timing him out. The only one who timed him out was Josh Lort on that 0-2 hanger, which he lined into left center field for Englewood's only run. The offering swung on, popped up on the right side into shallow right field, and coming in and making the grab is Bobby Tolson for the second out. 2 down for Aiden McGonigal, the opposing pitcher. Man, he probably feels like he was out there like 3 minutes ago, and now there's 2 down and he's up at the plate. And that'll take a toll on a pitcher, especially if you're not getting much defensive support. So the Mustangs with 2 down here in the top of the second, 11-1. Fort Morgan, the pitch outside. 1 ball and no strikes. That was pitch number 30 thrown by Keller. And he delivers. That's a beauty right there. Again, just grooves it in there for a strike. The off-speed working very well for the right-hander. Gujardo lays down the sign. And the 1-1 offering. Swag and a miss. That fly ball hit by Hazard was the first out the Mustangs recorded that was not a strikeout. 4 strikeouts by Keller before that fly out into right field. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and McGonigal strikes out. 5th strikeout for Keller. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Let's go to the bottom of the second after the break. It's Fort Morgan 11, Englewood 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead the Englewood Pirates in Fort Morgan in the regular season finale before next week's conference tournament. 11-1. We're in the bottom of the second inning. And let's see who the Mustangs will be sending up here. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Felix Ortega, Austin Apple, and Bobby Tolson against right-hander Aiden McGonigal, who despite allowing 11 runs, he threw just 34 pitches. I've seen some 11-run innings where the pitcher's out there for close to 50 to 60 pitches, and yet he threw just 34, so credit Fort Morgan for being aggressive early in the count. Yeah, and this Englewood team, they have faced a lot of tough foes all season, including in this Colorado 7 league. And McGonigal is definitely around the plate. I mean, he's a guy that throws strikes. In fact, of those 34 pitches, 23 were strikes with only 11 balls. Ortega had that sac bunt, and he reached on that in the first inning. Here's the wind by the right-hander McGonigal. The pitch bounces to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, this was anticipated being a 4.5-inning game, and no surprises so far. And the 1-0 to Ortega. And that, again, off the catcher's glove to the backstop. It's 2-0. To the opening hitter here in the bottom of the second inning, Felix Ortega, one of 4 seniors for Fort Morgan. All the seniors in the starting lineup today. 2-0. That's down and away. 3-0. Mr. D's Farm and Home Center, your headquarters for your home farm and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed in Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. And that's off the catcher's glove to the backstop. Well, that's the one thing you don't want to see. Walks you don't want to see. But that is a walk to Felix. Here's Austin Apple. Apple had a terrific bunt his first time up. That suicide squeeze, which gave Fort Morgan another run. And that's something Coach Langford's been talking about. He wants to make sure that they find more ways to generate offense. And with that small ball, that's certainly one of them. They've already got the power. We saw that with McBride, not only in this game, but in other games as well. And even Linker hitting the 2-run shot today. The stretch by McGonigal. Short lead at first by Ortega, and the pitch, and that's taken for a strike with a fastball at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. 11 runs on 6 hits for the Mustangs, 1 run on 1 hit for Englewood. Fort Morgan has committed 1 error. Englewood has committed 5, all in the first inning. The pitch, and the bender's inside. Count levels at 1-1. Yeah, you're just rooting now for clean baseball because when you know the outcome before the game starts, you just want as clean a game as possible without all the mistakes, and that's down and in on the off-speed. 2-1 to Austin Apple. And the only thing that could make it worse right now for Englewood is if the pitcher does not throw strikes. That's the only thing at this point. If the Mustangs put it in play like they did in the first inning, you can live with that. The pitch. And that's off the catcher's glove to the screen. That's what I'm talking about. Felix Ortega to second. And it is 3 balls and 1 strike to Austin Apple. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get to the 3rd inning before the 1-hour mark has expired. We did start a little bit late. Check out all the video on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube from the Senior Day festivities before the game. Again, that's KSIR B106, our channel on YouTube. You can watch on demand. And, of course, with all the games we upload to our Twitter handle at B106 and the B106 Facebook page, listen on demand. And the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Apple. This facility looks very nice now. After all the off-season work, bleachers have been replaced. They've got overhangs on the first and third base sides. You can set up your chair. And the 3-2 pitch. Curveball is fouled right off the catcher, Montegna. And the one thing I've always said about games like this, when they're getting out of hand, you still have to stay focused because you can develop some sloppy habits. Off of second is Ortega, 3-2 with nobody out in the second. 11-1 Fort Morgan on the home half here. The pitch swung on and lined towards right center field. A long run to his right, and the ball is going to be off the glove of the right fielder, Johnny Munoz. To third is Ortega. To second is going to be Apple. That'll be a 2-base error. That'll be the 6th error of the game committed by Englewood. And here's Bobby Tolson. Yeah, so a makeable play over there, but not made by Munoz and right. Tolson reached on an error his first time up. He's 0 for 1, but he's got a couple of chances here. Ortega at third, Apple at second. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. And the pitch swung on, grounded, base hit into left field. Ortega will score. Holding up was Apple, and he will stay at third. But it's an RBI single for the senior Bobby Tolson. And the Mustangs now lead 12-1 in the bottom of the second inning. And here is Connor Fajardo. He delivered a sac fly his first time up. Tolson off of first, about a 3-step advantage for Tolson. The pitch, and that's upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, Englewood in the conference tournament will be on the bottom half of the bracket. Mustangs will face Conifer, Weld Central, and Fort Lupton. Swung on, grounded up the middle. The shortstop Robertson steps in the bag for 1, throws to first. That's offline. It'll be an RBI. You can't assume the double play. Fajardo drives in a run. It's the first out of the inning, and Fort Morgan now leads 13-1 in the second. Fielder's choice 6 unassisted for Robertson. J.P. Hamer has been on base twice, officially 1 for 2. And he scored twice. Or check that. Now we're going to have nope, that is, let's see. Yeah, we'll have a pinch hitter up there. Let's see who let's see who we have up there. That is Castaneda, Nick Castaneda up there for the Mustangs. Castaneda stepping in. Yeah, there's no doubt that Coach Langford's going to clear the bench here. Oh, did they? Well, apparently. I don't know if there was high, but Fajardo, I guess, was called out at first. All right, so no RBI, and there's 2 down. And the pitch goes to the screen. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, I think Montegna thought there was a runner at first, but that was not the case. It's 2-0 here to Castaneda. And the pitch swung on and lifted to left field. To his left and ranging under it and making the catch for the 3rd out is Thomas O'Connor. But the Mustangs play 2. They take advantage of an error as we head to the 3rd inning. The score, Fort Morgan 13, Englewood 1 on B106 and B106.com. Well, the Mustangs are just 9 outs away, leading 13-1. Here in the top of the 3rd inning, the pitch, and that is outside. Jimmy Keller facing the 9-1 and 2 hitters. And a pitch to Montegna. Curveball is a strike. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fort Morgan scored 11 in the first and 2 in the second. And the pitch swung on and popped foul behind the screen and out of play. This will be it. After 2018, the Mustangs will no longer be in the Colorado 7. They will be in the Tri-Valley, and the competition will definitely get more difficult. And the 1-2. And that is just a little bit high. Again, going off speed here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the offering, and that's in the dirt. Castaneda now behind the plate, by the way. Here for Fort Morgan. Jimmy Keller has 5 strikeouts over the first 2 innings. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted down the left field line. Long run for Ortega along the line, and he dives, and it's off his glove. A sliding attempt. That'll be a base hit, but Ortega nearly made an outstanding play on that slide along the line. And it's the 2nd hit there for the Englewood Pirates. That'll send up Isaiah Martinez, who walked his first time up. Second time in the first 3 innings that Englewood's actually had the leadoff man on base. And Mustangs will be at double play depth here. Leading 13-1. Just 9 outs is all they need unless Englewood generates quite a bit of offense. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Pulling the string beautifully. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan. It's Equitable Savings and Loan, Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Available 24/7 for your banking needs. Equitable Savings and Loan. And the pitch. And the runner going. It's a ball, and the ball is dropped there by Castaneda. No throw. It'll be a stolen base for Montaigne. 1 ball and 1 strike. Why haven't we had more weather like this, man? Jeez, perfect weather. We've had too many of the dreary days. That's outside. Ball 2, strike 1. Nobody out, top 3. Fort Morgan 13, Englewood 1 on Senior Day. Again, we have all the video footage on our KSIR B106 channel on YouTube. Trey McBride has a 3-run homer. Isaac Linker with a 2-run shot. That's all in the first inning. And the throw back to second. Back covering over there is... That's Mussman over there. Yeah, so there's already been changes made defensively. 2-1 here to Isaiah Martinez. Buildings by Design has the experience to complete your project from start to finish. Get the quality you deserve in your building by starting your build project right. Start with Buildings by Design. And that is a strike at the knees. 2-2. And lots of changeups. That is his money pitch, is that changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jimmy Keller looking for his 6th strikeout. Looking back, and the pitch swung on and tapped slowly back to the mound. Keller has got it. He'll fire to first for the out. Advancing to third is Montaigne. But that's the first out here at the top of the 3rd inning. 1 down for the number 2 hitter, Josh Lort. Lord had the run-scoring single in the 1st inning. Well, all right, Fort Morgan is playing the infield in with a 12-run lead. The pitch swung on, line to center field. Coming on is Hamer. He makes the catch. No advance there. Boy, I got a great jump out there. And check it, that was caught by Fajardo. Fajardo made that catch in center. And there's 2 down as the Mustangs have made lots of defensive changes. But Fajardo got a great jump on that ball. And with 2 down, that sends up Thomas O'Connor, who was one of 5 strikeout victims. Here from Jimmy Keller, the pitch, and the breaking ball's a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Man at third and 2 down. And the offering, and that's in the dirt. Beautiful block there by Castaneda. And the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Fort Morgan trailed briefly, but man, it's been a display by the Mustangs, and they've also capitalized on some errors from Englewood. The pitch, and that is just a little bit low with the off-speed. Count is sitting at 2-1. Keller at the belt, the offering. Swung on and driven down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it is foul. Just foul as it was twisting away from the right fielder, Tolson. It's 2-2. Yeah, the best thing to happen for Fort Morgan this year was that loss to Brush, because since then they have been focused and they have played well. Their only loss since then was to Longmont, a non-league game, and one of the top-ranked teams in 4A, and that was only 7-5 on Tuesday. And the 2-2 pitch, and that is in the dirt, blocked again by Castaneda. It's 3-2. Keller had 3 strikeouts in the opening frame and 2 in the second, looking for 1 here in the third with 2 down. 3-2 to Thomas O'Connor. Payoff pitch in the dirt. Second walk issued by Keller. And that'll send up Mason Robertson. Robertson struck out his first time up. This will be interesting. Are they going to send the trail runner here? They might send O'Connor to get 2 into scoring position. The stretch and the pitch. Swung on, grounded to third. Nice play to Apple to his left. He fires to first for the out. And that ends the inning. as Englewood is held off the scoreboard. In the inning for Englewood, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left to the bottom of the third after the break. It's the Mustangs 13, the Englewood Pirates 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs lead 13-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. I'm John Beltran from Legion Field as Fort Morgan is trying to complete another undefeated season in Colorado 7 League play. They already clinched the title with a 14-4 victory over Fort Lupton on Wednesday. Jacob Ortega and Trey McBride will be the first 2 hitters here in the third against right-hander Aiden McGonigal. And McGonigal desperately looking for some defensive support. Even though Fort Morgan has pounded the ball, they have committed 6 errors behind them as well. That's one of the reasons that this team from Englewood has been unable to win, although they came close against Arvada. Only a 6-5 loss. And with every team, even teams that struggle, you see flashes of success. You just have to see it more consistently, and that's what Englewood is striving for. All right, so here is Jacob Ortega. He's singled and grounded out. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Aiden McGonigal, the right-hander, turns and delivers. And that's outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, this lineup has gotten better and better as the season has gone along. And the pitch, and that's low. 2-0. And Fort Morgan just needs 6 outs to get this game over with, unless Englewood could generate a big rally to extend it. 2 balls and no strikes to Ortega. The offering, that's in the dirt, 3-0. Western Engineering Consultants provide civil engineering services for aviation, municipal, commercial, and residential clients in Colorado, invested and involved in the communities they work in. That's Western Engineering Consultants. 3 balls and no strikes. And the pitch, and that's inside, and Ortega walks. Now again, it was 1 year ago today that Trey McBride homered twice, and he drove in 8. He's already got a homer in this game. It was a 3-run shot in the first inning. And it went over the center field fence as he steps in against McGonigal. And he just waited on that pitch. It's a big 3-run jack. The stretch by McGonigal. Long pause and the pitch. Swing, and did he foul it off? No, he missed it completely. As it goes to the screen. And it's 0-1. Yeah, he just missed that one all the way. No balls and 1 strike to McBride. Throw to second, but back in standing is Ortega. And McBride looking for another pitch he can hit. He also reached on an error his second time up. McBride awaits the pitch, and he swings and chops it down the third base line, foul. Count now is at 0-2 to Trey McBride. Nobody out, bottom of the third inning. Fort Morgan leads Englewood 13-1 with 11 runs in the first inning. Ortega walked on 4 pitches to begin the frame. McBride settling back into the box. And he awaits the pitch. 0-2. Fouled at the plate. Oh, he took something off it. Hey, what? This McGonigal, he's making McBride work here. Still 0-2. With Mussman waiting to hit next. Yeah, it's quieted down here after an 11-run first inning. And you can imagine when the game gets out of hand, it kind of slows down like that. Ortega off of second. Again, we'll see another 0-2 pitch here to McBride. Waving the bat on the right side. The offering, and that's inside, up and in with a bender. 1-2. Englewood actually had a 1-0 lead after half an inning on a run-scoring single from Josh Lort. All right, here we go. And a 1-2 pitch, and that's in the dirt. Skips away, but not far enough for Ortega to advance. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To senior Trey McBride. Now has 28 RBIs in the season after that 3-run homer in the first. McGonigal trying to figure out a way to get this guy out. Not easy. Not many pitchers have gotten McBride out this year. 2-2, the stretch. Long pause. Steps off. Well, McBride will just settle in the box. He is homered on Senior Day. He's homered on April 27th for the second straight season. He had 2 homers on April 27th a year ago. And the 2-2, and that went behind him to the screen. Ortega will trot to third. And now McBride looking for something to hit. He was down in the count 0-2. Now it's 3-2. And the infield's going to play in. I mean, they just got to get outs. This is not about winning the game for Englewood. And playing in is pretty dangerous against McBride. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled up the third base side. Might have got McBride on the foot. Stays at 3-2. Yeah, games like this, even though they only go 4.5 innings, seem to take almost 2 hours. That's just what happens in one-sided affairs. 3 balls and 2 strikes to McBride. And the pitch. And he swings and lines it into left field for a base hit. Boy, that was a shot. Hit by Trey McBride. Ortega will score. McBride's around first. Going to second to slide. And he is going to be out. McBride is out, but it's an RBI single. And the Mustangs extend the lead. It's 14-1. So it's still a base hit for McBride after he hit that bullet. And here's Devin Mussman. And the pitch is outside. So give McBride his 4th RBI. But again, thrown out at second. As the tag was applied by Lorch. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, lined, and off the shortstop Robertson's glove into left field. But that was hit right to him. Yeah, that'll be another error. Hit hard, but that was right at Robertson. He could not haul it in. Nonetheless, even though it looked like it was going to be caught, that's a solid shot there, hit by Mussman. And that'll send up Jimmy Keller, hit by a pitch and popped out. So Fort Morgan has scored in every inning, 11 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 so far here in the third. 2-step lead at first for Mussman. The pitch swung on and chopped slowly down the third baseline. Hazard along the line, sets, throws to first. That's going to be late. And then the ball skips over Williams' glove. And to third will be Mussman. That'll be an infield single and an error. A single and an error, allowing the runner to advance to third. And runners at the corners now for Felix Ortega. And Englewood has committed 8 miscues in the game. And Ortega with a sac, bunt, and a walk, so no official at-bats, but he's been productive up there. McGonigal comes home. Swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. No balls and 1 strike here to Felix Ortega. Yeah, Fort Morgan will not play again until Wednesday, 4 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. It's a round-robin Colorado 7 League tournament. They'll face Weld Central. Swung on and grounded foul into the Mustang dugout. check that. They'll face Conifer, I should say, on a Wednesday. And then Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, a week from tomorrow, against Weld Central. And then at 4:30 a week from tomorrow against Fort Lupton. Pitch to Ortega, and he swings and fouls it at the plate. Count remains at 0-2. At third is Mussman, Keller at first. And the Mustangs are in the lead 14-1 here in the bottom of the third inning, with Austin Apple waiting to hit next. The stretch. And McGonigal comes home. Swung on, grounded to third. Hazard backs up behind the line, throws to second, and that is going to be in time for the force. Scoring is Mussman. It is an RBI for Felix, and it's 15-1 Mustangs and 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning. Nice play by Hazard behind the bag. Austin Apple with a bunt single, and he reached on an error, so he's 1 for 2. Yeah, the most one-sided loss, that Englewood had this season. They lost 27-0 to Conifer, and Fort Morgan beat Conifer. I believe that was 12-0, 11 or 12-0. And the pitch, swing and a miss. Apple took a big swing and missed. It's 0-1. The junior third baseman digs back in. Ortega's got about a 2.5-step lead at first. McGonigal stretches, looks in, and the 0-1. Swung on and chopped over the mound. The shortstop, Robertson, has it go off his glove into center field. We'll call that a base hit. Yeah, kind of overran the ball. We'll give him a hit there. First and second now for Bobby Tolson, who was 1 for 2, drove in a run last time up.
Come on, Bobby, make it count. Here we go, Bobby.
And in fact, the Mustangs have 4 RBIs in this game from McBride, 2 from Linker, but 5 of those 6 on home runs. And like I mentioned, Tolson did drive in a run his last time up with a base hit. Ortega and Apple at second and first respectively. The Mustangs have 2 runs across here in the bottom of the third. And the pitch, and that's down and in all the way to the screen. Ortega to third, and into second is Apple. And now Bobby Tolson's got a chance to drive in at least 1 run, if not 2. Again, this week began with Bobby Tolson throwing a masterpiece, a 4-0 80-pitch 3-hit victory against Skyview. That got the momentum started this week for the Mustangs, and they've kept it going. And the 1-0 to Bobby, and he swings and taps it foul up the third base side. Count levels at 1-1 to the Mustangs senior. Connor Fajardo now playing center field, is waiting to hit next. Aiden McGonigal, the right-hander. Tolson with an open stance from the right side will take a fastball down and away. Ball 2, strike 1. Yeah, we've had some lengthy innings here, or half innings when Fort Morgan's at the plate. Runners take their leads. 2-1 pitch, swung on and tapped foul past the Mustang dugout on the third base side. Count moves to 2-2. And you never know how hard some of these players work off the field, but I've seen Bobby at the Star quite a bit. He takes his conditioning very seriously. 2-2 with 2 on, 2 across, and 2 out. And the pitch to Tolson, and he swings and foul tips it into the glove of Montagna, and he strikes out to end the inning. The Mustangs score 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors, and 2 men left as we head to the 4th. In Fort Morgan, the score, the Mustangs 15, the Englewood Pirates 1 on B106 and B106.com. 15-1 in favor of the Fort Morgan Mustangs as we head to the top of the 4th inning. And Jimmy Keller will begin his 4th inning of work. And Keller will be facing the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, D'Angelo Williams, Johnny Munoz, and Josiah Hazard. And the pitch to the right-handed first baseman. Swung on and popped up on the left side. The shortstop, Ortega, to his left, and makes the two-handed grab for the outs. One down. Jimmy now, after striking out 5 over the first 2 innings, is pitching to some contact, and that's good, allowing his defense to make some plays. Here's Johnny Munoz. He struck out swinging his first time up. Here's the wind by Keller and the pitch. Swing and a miss on pitch number 54 by Jimmy Keller. And it's no balls and 1 strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Whew. Man, he's got these hitters so far in front. And it's 0-2. And Keller delivers. Swung on and popped up into shallow right center field and to his right, and making the grab is Bobby Tolson for the second out. He got a great jump on that baseball. 2 down for Hazard. Hazard also popped to right his first time up. And Keller trying to make this a very quick inning. He did throw 22 pitches in the first inning, but then has economized those pitches since then. The pitch swung on and tapped slowly right back to Keller, and he'll stride and throw to first. It's a 1-2-3 inning as Jimmy Keller retires Englewood on just 5 pitches. They were all strikes. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Fort Morgan 15, Englewood 1. We're back in 60 on B106 and B106.com. All right, the Mustangs with a 15-1 lead. Yeah, here's the problem. Englewood is a new pitcher, but I don't have him on the roster at all. Wearing a number 9. I don't know who this is for Englewood. I do not have that. Looks like the pitcher. McGonigal's now at second base. Yeah, that's not Josh Lort. I'm not sure who that is. I mean, at this point, it doesn't make that big of a difference in terms of the game. It is 15-1. But anyway, Connor Fajardo will step in for the Mustangs. 9-1-2, followed by Castaneda and Ortega. That's Jacob Ortega. Fajardo with a sac fly and a fielder's choice. Yeah, I do not have a 9 on the roster at all. Here's the wind and pitch, and that's down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Englewood just trying to get through this one now. They've got 1 more at bat coming up at the top of the 5th. Up and away, 2-0 to Fajardo. Officially 0 for 1. And he's driven in a run with a sac fly. The right-hander for Englewood with the 2-0. And that's in the dirt. Not all speed, 3 balls. And no strikes. Fort Morgan will complete a perfect regular season of 7-0 in the Colorado 7 and 12-4 overall. And I wonder if Fajardo might be swinging here 3-0. I think the hit sign is on for virtually every pitch. And he is, and he lines it into the left field for a base hit. Connor Fajardo picks up Fort Morgan's 11th hit of the game. And here is Castaneda. Popped to left his first time up. Yeah, this will be a 1 base at a time theory for Fort Morgan unless they get something in the gap or obviously over the fence. The stretch and the offering. And that's taken for a strike on the outer half belt high. It's 0-1. to Nick Castaneda. Fajardo off of first, about a 3-step lead. And the long pause. The pitch. Swung on and lined into right center field for a base hit. Fajardo to second. Castaneda has another hit for the Mustangs. And that is number 12. Here's Ortega. Check that, Alex Ortega now. So it is Ortega. But Alex Ortega now stepping in. 3 Ortegas. Of course, Alex, Felix, and Jacob. And that's taken for a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Trey McBride will have his last at bat of the game coming up here momentarily. At second is Fajardo. Castaneda at first. No balls and 1 strike. 15-1 Mustangs in the bottom of the 4th inning. The offering. Swung on line. Base hit into left field. And that should load the bases. They won't advance past third. Fajardo will hold up there. And here we go. Trey McBride has a chance for the 2nd straight year on April 27th to hit 2 home runs, hit a grand slam, and drive an 8. That's what he did against Skyview last year. Had 2 home runs, and he drove in 8. He's got 4 RBIs right now. McBride digging in. Wind and pitch, and that's in the dirt. Blocked by Montegna. 1 ball and no strikes. You got to really wait on this guy. If Trey can time it out. His home run went over the center field fence his first time up. McBride awaits with the bases loaded. Nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning. And the offering. And he swings and drills it deep into left center field. Goodbye, baseball. It's a grand slam for Trey McBride for the 2nd straight year on April 27th. McBride hits a grand slam. He also homers twice for the 2nd straight year on this date. And for the 2nd consecutive year, drives in 8 runs on April 27th. And now the Mustangs lead 18-1 over the Englewood Pirates here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And that thing was launched into another area code. Here's Devin Mussman. Holy mahungus. McBride waited, and McBride launched it into deep left center field. All right. So that'll send up Mussman, who reached on an error. We'll have a pitching change. Let's take the change with him. We'll come back in 90 seconds. It's Fort Morgan 18, Englewood 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning on B106 and B106.com. Johnny Munoz is the new pitcher for Englewood. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Mustangs lead 18-1 on a gargantuan grand slam by Trey McBride, his 2nd home run of the game. He's driven in 8. And again, it was 1 year ago today that they won at Skyview 14-3, where he had 2 home runs, a grand slam, and 8 RBI. So he's duplicated that, which is incredible when you think about it, in a high school baseball game. And Munoz will face Devin Mussman. Let's see, Devin reached on an error his first time up. A junior for the Mustangs stepping in. 2nd plate appearance of the game. Here's the wind and pitch, and that's a strike on the inside corner. To Mussman, no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch inside, nearly clipped him. Count levels at 1-1. Fort Morgan has scored in every inning, including 11 in the 1st. And the pitch swung on and popped foul out of play off to the left. Got it 1-2 to Mussman. Again, with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning, the Mustangs have already plated 4 on that grand slam from McBride. Johnny Munoz, the right-hander, gets a sign from Mantegna. And the pitch. Swung on line, base hit into right center field. Mussman going the other way beautifully. And Devin Mussman has another Fort Morgan hit. And he was able to stroke that on a 1-2 pitch. Nice job of taking the ball exactly where it was pitched. That'll send up the pitcher, Jimmy Keller, who's going to improve to 3-0. He came in with a .72 ERA, allowed a run in the first inning, and has been very good since then as well. The pitch in the dirt, skips to the screen, and Mussman will trot to second. Yeah, I don't know if Fort Morgan's going to eclipse what they did when they beat Alameda, scoring the 27 runs. Yeah, 19-1 is the score. I had it at 18, but it's 19-1. The pitch swung on, driven deep into left center field. That one is way back, and that one takes a hop, and it's up against the bottom of the fence. And scoring easily will be Mussman. Is now 20-1. Yeah, when McBride hit that shot, it was a 15-1 score, not 14-1, nonetheless. Jimmy Keller now with 2 hits in the game, and again a 20-1 lead officially. And here's Ortega. Fort Morgan with 11 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 5 here in the fourth. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Swung on and tapped foul. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Felix Ortega, who in the game is 0 for 1. A sac bunt, a walk, and a fielder's choice. The offering. Swung on and tapped foul again. Up the third base side. It's 0-2. Yeah, I believe that's just the second time this year Fort Morgan scored 20 runs, at least 20 runs. Well, the NFL draft is already resuming. The Broncos should be making a pick anytime soon, if they haven't made it already. The offering, and that ball hit him. All right, so still nobody out here for Austin Apple. Boy, you got to get through this inning if you're Englewood. 20-1. Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Stretch in the offering. Swing and a miss. Austin Apple with a bunt base hit, reached on an errand single, so he's 2 for 3. Runners take their leads. Apple, the third baseman, awaits, and he swings and drills it into deep left field. That one is way back towards the track, and it's off the glove of the left fielder O'Connor. Well, that'll be a miscue. So Apple reaches on a ball that was hit extremely well. But it was playable out there for O'Connor. He just couldn't haul it in, and now the bases are loaded. And here's Bobby Tolson. Tolson is 1 for 3 with an RBI. The Mustangs are looking for a second inning in which they score double digits in runs. The pitch, and that's low. 1 ball and no strikes. 20 runs on 16 hits for Fort Morgan. 1 run on 2 hits for Englewood. They've committed 9 errors. Fort Morgan has committed 1. And the pitch swung on and fouled straight back, and the count is leveled at 1 ball and 1 strike. One and one here to Tolson. Still nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the pitch, and that's in the dirt. 2-1. The stretch. The pitch swung on, popped up, into shallow center field. That could be trouble. That's going to be trouble. It drops for a base hit in front of Martinez. Crossing home plate is Jimmy Keller, and the Mustangs now lead 21-1 and give Bobby Tolson his second RBI of the game. And here's Connor Fajardo. 1 for 2, a sac fly, a fielder's choice, and a single. I'm not rooting for outs here. That would be absurd to root for outs, but swung on. That ball is drilled into right field. Should be a routine play. That catch is made. And why is he coming in? That's only the first out. It was caught out there, and the sac fly scores Felix Ortega. First out of the inning. It's a sac fly from Fajardo, and it's 22-1. And I tell you what, you wouldn't know a baseball game's going on here because I think we're just waiting for the end of it right now. And the pitch. And that is a strike at the knees to Castaneda, who is 1 for 2. Castaneda popped to left and singled to right center. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and tapped down the third base side, foul. Count moves to 0-2. Now, we have played an hour and a half, and we're not even through 4 innings, but thankfully, because of the run rule, the Mustangs, once they get their at-bat done with, will have to record just 3 outs, and that is a strike, and Castaneda strikes out looking for the second out. Here's Alex Ortega. Ortega singled earlier in this inning. And Ortega scored on the grand slam from McBride, the pitch. And he swings and hits it high into right center field. That's going to be a long run for Martinez, and the gap reaches out, and he can't make the play. A run is going to score as Austin Apple steps on home plate. It's an RBI single for Ortega, and the Mustangs now lead 23-1. That is 8 runs in the fourth. What happened there? Oh, he got tagged out at second. Well, the run's going to score. All right, I mean, I scored it down here. So what I said was correct, but then for some reason, yeah, there was a tag play out at second. Anyway, the inning is over. For the Mustangs in the inning, 8 runs on 8 hits, 1 error and a man left. Let's head to the top of the 5th. It's Fort Morgan 23, Englewood 1 on B106 and B106.com. Bobby Tolson, who was money on Monday, will now pitch for the Mustangs here in the 5th inning. Went the distance on that 3-hitter and was outstanding with those 80 pitches. He'll now take them out. Jimmy Keller goes to right field. Everything else remains the same defensively for Fort Morgan as the Mustangs lead Englewood, 23-1. Yeah, Alex Ortega is the shortstop. I should mention that. All right, Englewood will send up the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Aiden McGonigal, Parker Montegna, and Isaiah Martinez. Here against the right-hander Tolson. We'll have our post-game coming up immediately after this game. I mean, we're talking immediately. Right after this affair concludes. And here is the first pitch from Bobby Tolson to Aiden McGonigal. That is a strike at the knees. It's no balls and 1 strike. McGonigal has had only 1 at bat. He struck out against the starter Jimmy Keller. And the pitch, swing and foul tipped into the glove. And it's 0-2. Now Keller and Mussman have traded places. Keller's now at second base. They did that between pitches. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that is a called strike 3 and a breaking ball. And Bobby Tolson registers a strikeout of McGonigal. And there's 1 down in the 5th inning. There's Parker Montegna. He's got 1 of the 2 Englewood hits in the game. Here's the wind by the senior and the pitch. That's up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. 11, 2, 2, and 8 are Fort Morgan's run total with the first four. Popped up foul territory. McBride, right side, makes the catch. As the senior first baseman puts it away, there's two down. And Isaiah Martinez might be the only Pirate to step to the plate 3 times. He walked and grounded out, and he scored Englewood's only run. They had a 1-0 lead on a Josh Lort RBI single. And then Fort Morgan went to work with 11 runs in the bottom of the first inning on a 3-run homer from Trey McBride and a 2-run blast later on from Isaac Linker. And the pitch swung on and fouled straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, this pitching staff has gotten deeper and deeper. Tolson and Ortega, that's Jacob, your top 2. Jimmy Keller's had a very good season. Trey McBride threw well against Longmont. 0-1 offering. Swung on and popped foul and out of play off to the right. No balls and 2 strikes. So they're just... And they've got to be deep. You get to the playoffs, you need at least 4 pitchers. And Fort Morgan in the past has had issues when they haven't been able to establish the depth. But this year they've got it. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch from Tolson in the dirt. 1-2. To Isaiah Martinez with 2 down in the 5th inning. Bobby. I think he might be looking for the K. 1-2 pitch. A little bit low with a fastball. Count levels at 2-2. That was just below the knees. I think he thought he had strike 3. That barely missed. Barely missed against his right-hander. 2-2 to Martinez. Tolson comes home. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Tolson strikes out 2 in the inning, and the Mustangs win the game over the Englewood Pirates in 4.5, 23-1. All right, time for the Mustang post-game show as the Mustangs pick up another victory. And it's brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC, here to help you imagine, believe in, and achieve your goals. Morgan Community College. For the Mustangs, 23 runs, 18 hits, 1 error, 3 left on base, 1 run, 2 hits, 9 errors. 3 left on base for Englewood. The winning pitcher was Jimmy Keller. He improves to 3-0, going 4 innings. And the loss went to Aiden McGonigal. Time of the game, 1 hour and 36 minutes. And after Josh Lort's RBI single at the top of the first, Fort Morgan scored 11 runs. In the bottom of the first inning, a 3-run homer from Trey McBride and a 2-run shot from Isaac Linker. McBride later on had a grand slam in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's up on our KSIR B106 channel, by the way, on YouTube, as Fort Morgan completed Colorado 7 league play in the regular season at 7-0 and 12-4 overall. And looking at the Mustangs at the plate, McBride was the only one with 3 hits. And again, 8 RBIs. You had 2 hit games from Linker, Keller, Austin Apple, and Alex Ortega came in off the bench and was able to generate 2 hits. All right, time for the Mustang Player of the Game. It's brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado and in Fort Morgan and Sterling. A great selection of new and used vehicles. Stop by and take a test drive at Transwest Chevrolet Buick. And the players of the game, we could just say it's McBride, but it's senior day. So the players of the game, Trey McBride, who had the 8 RBIs. Bobby Tolson, who closed it out, also had 2 ribbies. Jimmy Keller, the winning pitcher, who was productive at the plate as well. And Felix Ortega, who also was able to drive in a run for the Mustangs. They're back in action coming up Wednesday at 4 o'clock right here from Fort Morgan in Colorado 7 League Tournament play. They'll take on Conifer, 4 o'clock start on B106 as well as B106.com. Great job as always by our sound engineer and producer, Isaac Greenwood. I'm John Beltran. The final score in 4.5 innings. The Mustangs close out Englewood, winning 23-1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.